Have you ever wondered what happens if you take student loans? Like, what if I get a graduate assistantship position later? Wait, do I still need to submit a bank statement? Like, what happens with the whole visa application with student loans? Hey, I know these are some of the questions on your mind, and in today's video, I plan to answer all these questions and much more. So let us get into it. So let's jump right in with question number one. So the first question is, what happens if I take student loans and get a graduate assistantship to cover my tuition in school? This is a great question, and I know a question that so many people have. Now, if you get your student loans approved, that you have the approval letter, you can use that for your visa, and then you get to school, and maybe a couple of months after you start school, or even before you leave your home country for to go to school, you may get graduate assistantship positions. Now, what happens? You already committed to taking loans, and now you have graduate assistantships. Here's the answer. Go with the plan. Go with your plan of taking student loans. You have the approval letter. Use that for your visa application as you've planned. Now, once you get into school and you get the graduate assistantship position, here's what happens next. Every semester, so even though the loan provider has given you an approval letter saying we're going to provide $100,000 in student loans for your study plans, right, for the 2 years or 3 years that you're in school, they will not disburse the $100,000 to you at once. What happens is every semester that loan provider is going to reach out to you and say, hey, Doyin, you're starting a new semester. The fees we plan to send to your school for this semester is $25,000. Are you please confirm that we should disburse this amount to your school? So they will do that same process every single semester. Now, if you already have a graduate assistantship position, once they send you that email saying, hey, Doyin, please confirm that we can send $25,000 to your school, you just tell them, no, don't send $25,000. Please send $15,000. And that's because you know that with your graduate assistantship position, all you now need for that semester is $15,000, and that's what they will disburse. Now, another question that will come up is, do I pay interest on the 100K, or do I pay interest on the amounts that I end up disbursing, or that they end up disbursing and sending to my school? Typically, you will pay back what they've sent to your school, not what you agreed initially, because the 100K is still with them, but you may not need it anymore. So this is not something to worry about. If you are applying for student loans and you know that you may get a graduate assistantship position, don't worry about it. Every semester, you just need to confirm to the loan provider that, hey, do not send the full amount, send only half. Okay, so question number two, this person says, what if I use student loans for tuition and living expenses? Will I still need to provide a bank statement? I'm pretty sure this person is asking about the visa process. Maybe that's for the US, the UK, Canada. Kind of similar process. Now, what these countries, or what the government or immigration office for these countries care about, is that you can show proof that you can pay your full tuition and living expenses, what I call the total cost of attendance. That's what most schools call it. Now, you need to show them proof that you can pay 100% of your tuition and living expenses. That's all they care about. Now, if you say your proof or the plan that you have is to pay that 100% with student loans, that's fine, provided you've shown proof that you can pay 100%. You should be good. Now, here's the catch. It is very rare, it is highly unlikely that any loan provider will provide you 100% of your cost of attendance. Typically, many of them will at least say that you need to have 20% that's not loan, or 20% that's from your savings, or 20% that's scholarships, something. But 100% is difficult. But if you get it, like you get a loan provider to offer you 100% of your total cost of attendance, then you should be fine. You do not need to provide a bank statement. Now, if the loan provider only offered you 80% of your cost of attendance, then my friend, You need to show the 20% using a bank statement, okay? Whether that's your bank statement or another person's bank statement, you just need to show that balance 20% is coming from somewhere else. Okay, so this is question 3, and it is pretty specific. So let's read this one. I was told that I could get up to $43,000 from Prodigy. However, my year 1 fees to be released is $22,000, but my interest is above $450 for 20 years. I'm confused with the terms. Do I repay the $450 for the whole $43,000 or only $22,000 first deposit? So there's a lot of estimation happening here. This person is essentially asking, should I be paying interest on the full $43,000 or should I be paying interest on the $22,000 they will disburse first to my school? You need to understand something. That $43,000 is a commitment. The loan provider is essentially saying, hey, Doyin, if you need $43,000, we will borrow you up to $43,000. Now, you get into school and what you need for the first year is $22,000. Good. Do you pay interest on the $42,000 or you pay interest on the entire $43,000? So do you pay interest on $22K or $43K? Here's how you should think about this. Interest is a percentage. It's not like an absolute amount. That's the first thing. The second thing is interest compounds. And so I don't want to get too technical here, but here's the basic thing you need to understand. It is that once you get into school and the Prodigy in this case reaches out to you to say, hey, for this semester, we're sending $22,000 to your school. Please confirm. Once you confirm and they disburse $22,000 to your school, you start owing an interest, right? You start owing the principal amount of $22,000 and an interest on that $22,000. Now, that continues. In your second year, you take an additional $22,000 or $21,000. Because interest keeps compounding every single day or week, depending on the schedule that the bank is using. And in your second year, when you take the additional amount, you see that your interest increases as well. But interest is a percentage. And I'm assuming the interest rate here is fixed, right? That's a big assumption. That means they are not giving you an interest rate that's variable. So if your interest rate is fixed, you will pay on what you've borrowed, and what you've borrowed in that first year is $22,000, but that will add up to $43,000 in your second year. So I hope you understand this, but just know that interest is a percentage, and every single time the loan provider disburses to your school, you're owing more and more, right? And even if in your second year you don't take any loans from them, you don't take that balance $21,000, you still owe the $22,000 principal and interest on that maybe 10% that has been compounding from day one. Okay, another specific question. Yo, you guys have questions for me. This one is Prodigy or Empire. Do you think any of them make the visa interview easier? Because I think Empire demands you begin payment while still studying, while Prodigy has a grace period till after you study. For the visa officer, like you're taking student loans, they don't pay too much attention to the detail of how you will pay back, like which of the loan provider wants you to pay while in school versus the other one that wants you to pay right after graduation. No. And this person, I'm pretty sure, because there's a visa interview, they're asking about the United States. No, I do not believe, I strongly don't think that any visa officer is looking into the detail of the loan. Like, what is the percentage? When are you required to pay back? Like, that's not the detail they are focusing on. What they focus on is, are you taking student loans? And what does that tell them about you or about your application and things like that? They don't really get into the detail of Empire versus Prodigy. So don't worry about that. Don't worry about that one. But if you're asking for just my opinion, like which one makes the visa interview easier, none of them. If you're taking loans, you're taking loans. I worry more about how much loan you're taking when you're going for that interview. Like, how huge is the loan? How big is the loan? Are you taking a 100K loan versus a 20K loan versus a 5K loan? That's what I will focus on, not is it Empower or Prodigy and how I'll pay back. Now, that's for the visa interview. If you have the same question, but like you want me to focus on other things, that's I can talk about that. But for the visa, nah, it doesn't play a role. Just focus on how, like, the size of the loan. That's what I'll tell you to focus on for that visa. Okay, I have a lot more questions, but I'm going to take one more because this video is going to be too long, and that is, please, what student loan would you recommend for BSc students? So if you are not a grad student, like you're not applying to like a master's or PhD program, Prodigy Finance is not really an option for you. So the one I recommend typically is Empower Finance. Now, I'm making the big assumption that you do not have a cosigner. If you have a cosigner, my friend, then you have a lot of options that I can share in another video. Let me know in the comments if you are interested in me sharing options for those that have a cosigner. But if you do not have a cosigner and you're going for a first degree like a BSc program, Empire is the option you should check out. Righty, that's it, my friend. I hope this video is useful and I was able to answer your question. I do have other questions that you may have asked me, and I think I'll do another video. But let me know if I didn't get to your questions. Just put it in the comments. I'll pick it up from there, give you a response, or do another video to reply. So hope you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and also subscribe, join the family, and let me know if I can be of help in any way as you go through your school study abroad journey. Bye bye.